In this video, I'm going to show you my personal window arrangement in Reason to maximize my composing and production workflow, and you can too! I assume you are already very familiar with the keyboard shortcuts using the function keys to get to the different windows in Reason. Most important are of course the three main sections: F5 for the mixer, F6 showing the rack, and F7 showing the sequencer. If you are only using a single computer screen, you can have a split screen view by pressing two of those function keys at the same time. Like for example pressing F5 and F6 at the same time, like this, showing the mixer on top and the rack on bottom, or F6 and F7 shows the rack on top and the sequencer on bottom. Once you get many devices in your rack, like you can see here, and this is not even full, it starts to get tricky to find whatever device you want to get to. And a little small trick is to double click on the track in the sequencer if the device is connected to a track, like this, and the device will get focus in the rack so you know exactly where it is and can start to find different preset or make slight adjustments to it if you want to. Small tasks that you do often tend to stack up in time, and closing and opening windows is one of those tasks. So I find that I like to keep many windows open all the time, like for example clicking F3 to have the browser open here to the left, and F8 to have the tool window always open. But now we have run into a new problem: screen state. Because having many windows open on a single computer screen gets really crowded. Well, I have a second computer monitor that I use, and if you are lucky enough to have that as well, let me show you how I set up the windows in Reason to boost my workflow. So, as you can see, the tool window is already detached. It actually doesn't stick to any corner. You can have it wherever you like. I usually like to have the tool window to the right of my main computer monitor. But then if I drag it down, you can see these little arrows here, and that is actually to detach the different sections, main sections of Reason. So if I click on this and this, you can see now the sequencer is the only window left here, because the other windows are actually on my second computer monitor. I can drag them here, because they are floating windows now. So if I drag them to the left, it's now on my other computer monitor. Let me show you. So first, this is actually the rack, which I also detached into floating window, dragged to the left into my second computer screen. So now both the mixer and the rack is on my second computer screen. Now let me switch the view so you can actually see my second screen. Alright, so here we are now on my second computer monitor, and what's cool now is that since I moved both the rack and the mixer to this screen, I can still use the function keys F5 to get to the mixer and F6 to get to the rack, and it's on my second computer screen, which means that the sequencer will always be on my main computer monitor. Cool, so now I have arranged the three main sections of Reason: the rack and mixer on my second monitor, and the sequencer on my main monitor. What about the other windows I want to keep open? Well, the browser is actually really strange, because you can have that window open on both your computer screens. But I want to have it on my second monitor, like this, F3. And if we go back to the main monitor now we are back on my main computer screen, and you can see that the browser is still present to the left here on my main computer monitor, even though I opened it on my second computer screen. So I think that's the only window that can have dual setups. But I like to close it here, click F3, and it's actually still open on my second computer monitor where I want it to be. Because now I can have the focus on the sequencer where I actually compose and produce my music. And that only leaves the tool window for my current workflow. And I actually like to have it always present in the sequencer to the right here, because most of these features in the tool window are actually used on the MIDI clips and the notes themselves, so it makes sense to have it here, and it doesn't take up too much space. I also turn out all the individual sections, so I don't need to go and unfold and fold these all the time. So I have all of them open, and since my computer monitor resolution is so high, I can see the entire tool window even though every single feature is unfolded like this. Alright, so now we are back on my second computer monitor, because I want to show you a small little trick in the rack view. You know, you can use these little arrows to fold a device so it takes less space in the rack, because as you can see, the rack can grow into quite a big space if you add devices to it. So what you might not know is that you can hold down the Alt and Shift key on your computer keyboard and then left click with your mouse on one of the arrows in the specific rack space, and look what happens. It folds every device in that particular rack space. And then you can unfold each specific device like this still, or use the same technique, hold down Alt, Shift and left click with your mouse, and it unfolds every device. Click the notification bell on YouTube to get all my new videos and live shows. Thank you so much, your support is legendary. Now I want to hear from you. How does your recent setup look like with computer screens and window arrangement? I'm Mike, showing you my inside tips and tricks for window arrangement in Reason, because you rock, my friends. My name is Mike, and I share my story and journey as a music composer and sound designer to inspire creative people like you. So click that subscribe button to gain music superpowers.